Hello and welcome to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and today we have an exciting episode that will help you improve your English speaking skills. And as always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Julia. Hey, Julia.
Hey, Jason. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here again. Today's topic is something that every English learner wants to know: how to learn English speaking easily. Many learners struggle with speaking fluently, but the good news is that there are simple and effective ways to improve.
That's right. English speaking is one of the biggest challenges for learners, but with the right techniques and daily practice, you can become a confident English speaker. And in this episode, we are going to share some of the best strategies to make English speaking easy and natural.
Exactly. So if you've ever felt nervous about speaking English or you don't know where to start, this podcast is for you. We'll cover everything, from common challenges to the best ways to practice every day.
And make sure you stay till the end, because we'll also share some powerful motivation tips to keep you going on your English speaking journey.
Yes. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's get started.
So, before we talk about the best ways to improve your English speaking, let's first discuss the most common challenges that learners face. Julia, what do you think is the biggest challenge?
Great question, Jason. I think one of the biggest challenges is fear of making mistakes. Many learners feel nervous when speaking because they don't want to say something wrong.
That's so true. And because of that fear, many learners stay silent instead of practicing. But the reality is that mistakes are part of learning. Even native speakers make mistakes.
Exactly. Another big challenge is lack of confidence. Some learners know a lot of English words and grammar, but when it's time to speak, they freeze because they're afraid they won't sound good.
Yes, and confidence doesn't come overnight. It grows with practice and experience. But speaking is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Another common problem is pronunciation. Some learners struggle with pronouncing words correctly, and this makes them feel shy when speaking.
Yes, and pronunciation can be tricky, especially with words that are spelled differently but sound the same, like read, past tense, and read, present tense.
Oh yes, English has a lot of tricky words, but don't worry, there are simple ways to improve pronunciation, and we'll talk about that soon.
Another challenge is not having enough opportunities to practice. Some learners don't have English-speaking friends or live in a place where English isn't commonly spoken.
That's a big one. Many learners feel stuck because they don't have a partner to practice with. But guess what? You don't need a partner to improve your speaking.
That's right. And later in this episode, we'll share some powerful techniques that you can use alone to improve your English speaking. So, stay with us.
Yes. So, to summarize, the biggest challenges in learning English speaking are 1. Fear of making mistakes. 2. Lack of confidence. 3. Pronunciation difficulties. 4. Not enough practice opportunities. But don't worry, because next, we'll show you the best methods to learn English speaking easily.
Yes, let's dive into the best techniques that will help you speak English more naturally and fluently. Now that we've talked about the common challenges in learning English speaking, let's move on to the most important part: how to learn English speaking easily. Julia, what's the first method that can really help learners?
The first and most effective method is immersive learning. This means surrounding yourself with English as much as possible. The more you hear, see, and use English, the faster you'll improve.
That's a great point. And you don't have to travel to an English-speaking country to do this. You can create an English environment at home. For example, change your phone's language to English, watch English movies, listen to English music, and follow English-speaking influencers on social media.
Yes, and another powerful technique is called shadowing. This means listening to a native speaker and repeating exactly what they say, copying their pronunciation and rhythm.
Oh, I love the shadowing technique. It helps improve pronunciation, fluency, and confidence. If you're watching a movie or listening to a podcast, just pause after each sentence and repeat it.
Absolutely! Another great method is talking to yourself in English. It may sound funny, but it really works.
That's true. You can describe what you're doing, like, I'm making a cup of coffee, or I'm going to the market. The more you use English in daily life, the more natural it will feel.
Exactly. And if you don't want to talk to yourself, you can use voice assistants like Siri, Google Assistant, or Alexa to practice English conversations.
Great tip. Another important method is learning phrases instead of just words. Many learners memorize vocabulary lists, but it's much better to learn useful phrases and expressions.
Yes. Instead of just learning the word excited, learn a full sentence like, I'm really excited about the weekend. That way, you'll remember how to use the word correctly in a conversation.
And let's not forget about practicing with real people. If you have a friend or a tutor, practice speaking with them as much as possible. But if you don't, you can join online English-speaking communities, language exchange programs, or even Facebook groups for English learners.
Exactly. There are many free websites and apps where you can find speaking partners like Tandem, HelloTalk, and Speaky.
Another amazing method is thinking in English. Julia, can you explain how this helps?
Of course. When learners think in their native language and then translate into English, it slows them down. But if you start thinking directly in English, your speaking will become much faster and more natural.
That's a game changer. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Start with simple thoughts like, what do I want to eat? Or, it's a beautiful day today. The more you do this, the easier it becomes.
Yes, and to wrap up this section, here are the best methods to learn English speaking easily. 1. Immerse yourself in English. Surround yourself with English content. 2. Use the shadowing technique. Repeat after native speakers. 3. Talk to yourself in English. Describe your daily activities. 4. Use voice assistants. Practice speaking with AI. 5. Learn phrases, not just words. Focus on full sentences. 6. Find speaking partners online. Join language exchange programs. 7. Think in English. Stop translating and start thinking in English.
That's a fantastic list. If you use these techniques consistently, your English speaking will improve quickly and naturally.
Yes, and in the next section, we'll talk about how to build a daily English speaking habit so you can stay consistent and keep improving.
Sounds great. Let's get into it. Now that we've talked about the best methods to improve English speaking, let's discuss something equally important: how to build a daily English speaking habit. Because, Julia, as we both know, learning English is not about studying for one day and then forgetting about it, right?
Absolutely, Jason. Consistency is the key to success. If you want to improve your English speaking, you need to practice a little every day. Even 10 to 15 minutes of daily speaking practice can make a huge difference.
That's right. So, let's talk about some practical ways to build this habit. One of the best ways is to set a fixed time every day for English speaking. It could be in the morning when you wake up, during lunch, or before bed.
Yes, just like brushing your teeth or having coffee in the morning, make speaking English part of your daily routine. For example, say 1 or 2 sentences to yourself in English every morning, like, today is going to be a great day, or I have a lot of things to do.
That's a great idea. Another way to build this habit is to talk about your daily activities in English. As you go through your day, describe what you're doing. Like, I'm making tea. I'm going for a walk. Or, I'm reading a book.
Yes, and if you have extra time, keep a daily English speaking journal. Instead of writing, record yourself talking about your day in English. This will help you track your progress and improve your confidence.
That's a brilliant tip. And here's another one. Use mirror practice. Stand in front of a mirror and talk to yourself in English for a few minutes every day. It helps you become more comfortable speaking and improves your body language as well.
I love that. And for those who want more structure, join an online English challenge. There are many 30-day speaking challenges where you get a small speaking task every day.
That's a fantastic way to stay motivated. Also, make English fun. Talk about topics you enjoy. If you love movies, talk about your favorite scenes. If you love sports, describe a match in English.
Yes, when learning is fun, it doesn't feel like a chore. And to make sure you stick to your habit, track your progress. Use a calendar or an app to mark every day you practice English speaking.
That's a great point. Small, consistent efforts add up over time. So let's summarize the best ways to build a daily English speaking habit. 1. Set a fixed time for English speaking every day. 2. Talk about your daily activities in English. 3. Record yourself speaking instead of writing a journal. 4. Use mirror practice to boost confidence. 5. Join an online speaking challenge for motivation. 6. Talk about fun topics to keep learning interesting. 7. Track your progress to stay consistent.
That's a powerful list. If you follow these steps, speaking English every day will become natural and easy.
Exactly. And coming up next, we have the most important part: how to stay motivated to keep learning and improving. So don't go anywhere. Now, let's talk about something that stops many learners from speaking confidently: the fear of speaking English. Julia, have you ever met learners who understand English well but are too afraid to speak?
Oh, all the time. Many learners are scared of making mistakes or worrying about what others will think. But the truth is, making mistakes is part of learning.
Exactly. No one speaks perfectly at first. Even native speakers make mistakes. So, the first tip to overcome fear is to accept that mistakes are normal. The more mistakes you make, the more you learn.
Yes, another great way to overcome fear is to start small. Instead of trying to have a full conversation, begin with simple sentences. For example, practice introducing yourself or ordering food in English.
That's a great tip. And to gain confidence, practice speaking in a safe environment. You don't have to start with strangers. Talk to yourself, record your voice, or practice with a friend who is also learning English.
Right. And if you do talk to others, choose supportive people who will encourage you instead of making fun of your mistakes. A good language partner or tutor can really boost your confidence.
Absolutely. Another way to overcome fear is preparing common phrases in advance. If you know you'll be in a situation where you have to speak English, like at a restaurant or in a meeting, practice some key sentences beforehand.
That's a smart strategy. And here's another one. Focus on communication, not perfection. Your goal is to be understood, not to speak perfectly. Even if your grammar isn't 100% correct, most people will still understand you.
That's so important. And one more tip: change your mindset. Instead of thinking, "What if I make a mistake?" Think, "What if I succeed?" A positive mindset will help you feel more confident when speaking.
I love that. So let's summarize the best ways to overcome the fear of speaking English. 1. Accept mistakes as part of learning. 2. Start small with simple sentences. 3. Practice in a safe environment, alone or with friends. 4. Find supportive speaking partners. 5. Prepare common phrases in advance. 6. Focus on communication, not perfection. 7. Adopt a positive mindset. Believe in yourself.
That's a fantastic list. If you follow these tips, speaking English will feel less scary and more natural.
Exactly. And coming up next, we'll talk about how to stay motivated to keep improving your English speaking skills, so don't go anywhere.
We've covered so many great strategies for learning English speaking, but here's the big question. How do you stay motivated to keep going? Julia, motivation is a challenge for many learners, right?
Absolutely, Jason. Many people start learning English with excitement, but after a few weeks or months, they lose motivation. The key is to make learning fun, rewarding, and part of your lifestyle.
That's right. So, let's talk about some ways to stay motivated. The first one is setting clear goals. If you don't have a goal, it's easy to lose interest. Julia, can you give an example of a good English learning goal?
Sure. A goal could be, I want to hold a 5-minute conversation in English within a month, or I want to watch an English movie without subtitles in 3 months. When you have a clear goal, you stay focused and excited to learn.
Great point. Another way to stay motivated is to track your progress. Keep a journal or use an app to record new words, phrases, or the number of minutes you practice each day. Seeing your improvement will keep you inspired.
Yes, and don't forget to celebrate small wins. Learning English is a journey, and every step matters. If you successfully order coffee in English or complete a full conversation, reward yourself.
That's such a great idea. And to make learning more exciting, connect it to your interests. If you love music, listen to English songs. If you love sports, follow English-speaking commentators. Learning becomes easier when it's connected to something you enjoy.
Exactly. And here's another tip. Surround yourself with English. Change your phone settings to English, follow English-speaking YouTubers, and talk to friends who are also learning English. The more you immerse yourself, the faster you'll improve.
That's a powerful strategy. And one last thing, stay patient and don't compare yourself to others. Everyone learns at their own pace. Focus on your progress, not on how fast someone else is learning.
Absolutely. So, let's summarize the best ways to stay motivated. 1. Set clear goals, e.g., hold a conversation, watch a movie without subtitles. 2. Track your progress to see improvements. 3. Celebrate small wins to stay encouraged. 4. Make learning fun by connecting it to your interests. 5. Surround yourself with English in daily life. 6. Be patient and focus on your own journey.
That's a fantastic list. If you follow these steps, you'll stay motivated and enjoy learning English every day.
Exactly. And now let's move to our final part, the conclusion and final encouragement for English learners.
Wow! We've covered so many helpful tips today. From understanding common challenges to learning the best methods, building daily habits, overcoming fear, and staying motivated, learning English speaking is definitely possible.
Absolutely, Jason. And remember, progress takes time. The most important thing is to keep practicing and never give up.
Exactly. To all our listeners, start small, be consistent, and enjoy the process. Even if you only practice for 10 minutes a day, you're getting better.
And don't be afraid to speak, make mistakes, and learn from them. Confidence comes with practice.
Before we go, we have a challenge for you. Practice speaking English for at least 5 minutes today. You can talk to yourself, record your voice, or have a short conversation with a friend.
That's a great challenge. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our podcast for more English learning tips.
Yes, and leave a comment. What's your biggest challenge in learning English speaking? We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks for listening, and remember, you can do this. Keep practicing, and soon you'll be speaking English with confidence.
That's right. See you in the next episode. Happy learning! Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Personal Growth Talks podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and as always, I'm here with my amazing co-host, Julia. Today, we're diving into a topic that I think a lot of us can relate to, especially in this age of endless advice, role models, and self-improvement content. We're talking about how to learn from others without losing your unique self. Julia, isn't this such an interesting and relevant topic?
Absolutely, Jason. With so many people offering advice and sharing their experiences, it can be easy to feel overwhelmed or even start doubting if we're doing things right in our own lives. But there's a balance we can find. We can learn valuable things from others, yet keep hold of who we truly are and what makes us unique.
Exactly, Julia. Sometimes, the challenge is figuring out how to adopt new habits or ways of thinking that genuinely help us without copying someone else to the point where we lose our individuality. So, let's explore some ways to approach learning from others while staying true to ourselves. To start, Julia, what do you think are the first steps to keeping that balance?
Good question. I'd say the first step is to always remember why you're inspired by someone in the first place. Are you drawn to their kindness, their work ethic, or maybe their confidence? Once you recognize what exactly inspires you, you can take that specific quality and think about how you can bring it into your life, in your own way. Does that make sense, Jason?
Yes, that's a great point, Julia. By focusing on qualities rather than trying to mimic every little detail of someone's life, we avoid becoming a copy. For example, if someone is very disciplined and that inspires you, try finding ways to build discipline that work for your unique lifestyle. And I think another important part of this is staying aware of your own strengths and values. Julia, how do you feel about that?
Oh, I completely agree. I think knowing your own strengths and values is essential because it gives you a foundation to build on. When you're aware of what you're good at and what matters to you, you can be selective about what you choose to adopt from others. You don't have to take in everything, just the things that align with your own personality and goals.
Exactly. And sometimes we can even learn what not to do by observing others. We don't always have to agree with everyone's approach or methods. It's about taking what resonates and leaving behind what doesn't. So, Julia, how do you suggest people stay connected to their true selves when they're learning from others?
That's a great question. One way to stay grounded is to make time for self-reflection. After you observe or learn something new from someone, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, does this feel right for me? Does it align with who I am and what I believe in? Reflection gives us space to think about how to apply new ideas without feeling pressured to adopt them exactly as they are. What do you think, Jason?
I think that's spot on, Julia. Reflection allows us to personalize what we learn, so we're not just following trends or copying blindly. And I'd add that it's also okay to try new things out and then decide it's not for you. Sometimes, learning from others is just about experimenting and seeing what fits and what doesn't. Julia, have you ever had that experience?
Oh, absolutely. I remember trying to adopt a morning routine I saw someone do. They woke up super early, exercised, read, and even journaled all before 7 a.m. I tried it, but it didn't suit my lifestyle at all. Instead, I took one part of it, journaling for a few minutes in the morning, and made it my own. That small change felt more natural to me and still brought a lot of benefits.
Yes, that's a perfect example. Sometimes, just one small change inspired by others can make a big difference. And it's wonderful that you found a way to incorporate it into your own unique routine, Julia. Another thing I'd suggest is having confidence in your own perspective. It's easy to feel like other people have all the answers, but remember, they're learning too.
Absolutely! No one has it all figured out. And often, the people we admire are still learning and growing, just like us. They're just a little further along in one specific area, and we can learn from that without feeling like we have to copy their whole life. And on that note, Jason, what would you say is a good call to action for our listeners?
Great question, Julia. For everyone listening, I'd encourage you to think of one person who inspires you and identify just one quality or habit of theirs that resonates with you. Then, instead of copying it exactly, think about how you can make that quality your own. Maybe it's being more organized, or more confident, or more patient. Try to integrate that quality into your life in a way that feels authentic to you.
I love that, Jason. And remember, it's okay to be selective and to adapt. It's a journey of finding what works for you and building a version of yourself that feels both inspired and true to who you are. So, don't be afraid to learn from others, but also trust that you have a lot to offer just by being your unique self.
Perfectly said, Julia. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, and thank you to all our listeners. We hope this episode helps you find ways to learn from others while keeping hold of your own uniqueness. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, and we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.
Yes. And if there's a specific quality you're working on or a way you've adapted something from someone else, please share. Let's inspire each other and grow together in our own unique ways.
Thank you all for joining us today. Until next time, stay true to yourself and keep learning. Goodbye. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and with me today is my amazing co-host, Julia.
Hey Jason, hey everyone, we're so excited to have you here with us today. If you're someone who struggles with thinking in English, then this episode is just for you.
That's right. Have you ever found yourself translating every word in your head before speaking? It slows you down, right?
Exactly. Many English learners face this problem. They think in their native language first, then try to translate into English, and by the time they're ready to speak, the moment has passed.
But don't worry. In today's episode, we're going to show you how to train your brain to think directly in English, just like a native speaker.
And trust me, once you start thinking in English, everything becomes easier. Speaking, listening, even writing.
So, if you've ever wondered how to stop translating and start thinking in English naturally, stay with us because we've got some powerful techniques to share.
Let's dive in.
All right, Julia. Let's start with the big question. Why is thinking in English so important for learners?
Great question, Jason. The truth is, if you always think in your native language first and then translate, you'll never be able to speak fluently.
Exactly. It creates a delay, right? Your brain is working twice as hard. First, it forms a sentence in your native language, then it tries to find the right English words.
And sometimes the translation doesn't even make sense.
Oh, absolutely. Like if someone translates I am cold word for word from another language, they might say, I have cold, which sounds unnatural in English.
Right, and that's why thinking in English helps so much. It trains your brain to form sentences the way native speakers do without getting stuck on translation.
And let's talk about confidence. When you start thinking in English, you feel more confident because words come to you faster.
Yes, No more pausing for long seconds to translate in your head. You'll respond naturally and smoothly.
Another big reason? It improves your listening skills. If you think in English, your brain processes English conversations faster, so you understand people better.
That's so true, and not just in conversations. Even when you're watching movies or listening to music, you start recognizing words instantly instead of translating everything.
And Julia, let's not forget that thinking in English also helps with pronunciation.
Good point, because when you think in English, you start hearing the sounds in your head the way native speakers say them, which helps with speaking clearly.
So, just to summarize, thinking in English helps you speak faster, boosts your confidence, improves your listening skills, and even makes your pronunciation better.
And now you might be wondering, okay, I get why it's important, but how do I actually train my brain to think in English?
Don't worry, we're going to break it down step by step. But before that, let's talk about some common mistakes that stop people from thinking in English. Now that we understand why thinking in English is so important, let's talk about something that holds people back. Common mistakes that stop learners from training their brain to think in English.
Yes, many learners don't even realize they're making these mistakes. But once you fix them, you'll notice a big improvement in your fluency.
All right. Mistake number 1. The biggest one, relying too much on translation. If you always translate in your head before speaking, your brain never gets used to thinking in English directly.
Exactly. It's like riding a bike with training wheels forever. You need to trust your brain to form sentences naturally instead of always looking for the right translation.
And Julia, another common mistake, focusing too much on grammar while thinking. A lot of learners try to make every sentence perfect in their mind before speaking. But that actually slows them down.
Oh yes, grammar is important, but if you keep stopping to check every little rule, you'll never speak naturally. Native speakers don't think about grammar rules while talking, right?
Exactly! They just speak. And guess what? Even native speakers make grammar mistakes sometimes.
That's so true. Okay, mistake number 3, fear of making mistakes. Some people are so afraid of saying something wrong that they stop themselves from thinking or speaking in English at all.
Right? But making mistakes is how we learn. The more you practice thinking in English, the better you'll get. Don't be afraid to sound imperfect. Fluency comes with practice, not perfection.
Absolutely. And another mistake that blocks thinking in English? Not surrounding yourself with English. If your daily life is full of your native language, your brain will naturally default to that language instead of English.
Great point. If you only use English in a classroom or for studying, but not in daily life, your brain won't switch to English naturally.
And that's why immersion is so important. Things like listening to English music, watching English videos, and reading in English.
Exactly. Okay, let's quickly recap. The biggest mistakes that stop you from thinking in English are 1. Relying too much on translation. 2. Overthinking grammar while forming sentences. 3. Fear of making mistakes. 4. Not surrounding yourself with enough English.
If you're making any of these mistakes, don't worry. The good news is we're going to show you how to fix them.
Yes! Up next, we'll share some powerful step-by-step strategies to help you start thinking in English naturally. All right, Julia. Now it's time for the most important part. How can learners actually train their brain to think in English?
Yes, we're going to break it down into simple, powerful steps that anyone can follow.
Perfect. Let's start with step 1. Name things around you in English.
Oh, I love this one. It's such an easy habit to build. Just look around you and say the names of objects in English. For example, if you're in your room, think bed, window, lamp, phone,
Exactly. And to take it further, you can describe what's happening. Like, instead of just thinking cup, you can think, I am drinking coffee from my cup.
Yes, this helps your brain connect everyday life with English, making it more natural over time.
All right. Step 2. Talk to yourself in English. It might feel strange at first, but it's one of the best ways to start thinking in English.
Yes, you can do this anywhere, when you're cooking, getting dressed, or walking outside. Just describe what you're doing in simple English, like, I'm putting on my shoes. It's a sunny day.
And the great thing is, there's no pressure, because you're just talking to yourself.
Exactly. And if you're worried about making mistakes, don't be. No one is listening. It's just you training your brain to use English naturally.
Great! Now, step 3, use an English-to-English dictionary.
Oh, this is a game changer. Many learners still use dictionaries that translate words into their native language. But switching to an English-to-English dictionary helps you think in English instead of translating.
Right. For example, if you don't know the word excited, instead of translating it to your native language, look it up in an English dictionary where it says, feeling very happy and eager. That way, your brain connects words in English, not another language.
Exactly, and it improves your vocabulary naturally.
All right, next step 4, think in simple sentences first.
Yes, many learners try to think in complex sentences too soon, and that makes them feel stuck. Instead, start with short, simple thoughts.
Like instead of thinking, I should go to the store because I need to buy some vegetables for dinner, just start with, I need vegetables.
Yes, once you get comfortable, your sentences will naturally get longer over time.
All right, let's move on to step 5. Have an English inner voice.
Oh, I love this one. Instead of thinking in your native language, try to have a little conversation in English in your head. For example, if you're planning your day, think, what should I do first? Maybe I'll start with breakfast.
Yes, this is like turning your thoughts into an English dialogue. It's one of the fastest ways to start thinking in English without effort.
And you can even ask yourself questions in English, like, how do I feel today? Or what should I wear?
That's a great habit. And finally, step 6, surround yourself with English.
Yes, the more you expose yourself to English, the more natural it becomes. Listen to English podcasts, watch English videos, and read books or articles in English.
That's right. The more English you hear, the more your brain starts thinking in English automatically.
So let's quickly recap the 6 steps to train your brain to think in English. 1. Name things around you in English. 2. Talk to yourself in English. 3. Use an English-to-English dictionary. Think in simple sentences first. 5. Have an English inner voice. Surround yourself with English.
These steps will help you stop translating and start thinking in English naturally.
Yes, and the best part? You can start practicing these today.
Up next, we'll talk about daily exercises you can do to make thinking in English a permanent habit. All right, Julia, we've talked about strategies to start thinking in English. But now, let's take it one step further. How can learners practice this every day and make it a habit?
Yes, because just knowing the techniques isn't enough. You need to practice consistently to train your brain to think in English naturally.
Exactly. So, let's share some simple daily exercises that will help learners develop this skill. First, start and end your day with English thoughts. The moment you wake up, try to describe your plans for the day in English.
Yes, instead of thinking in your native language, say in your mind, today is Monday. I have a meeting at 10 a.m. I will have lunch with my friend.
And at night, do the same. Review your day in English before sleeping. Think, what did I do today? Did I enjoy it?
This helps your brain switch to English mode at the beginning and end of the day.
The second daily practice, set a no translation rule for at least 30 minutes a day.
Oh, I love this one. For those 30 minutes, challenge yourself to only think in English. No translating allowed.
Yes, it might be difficult at first, but even if you struggle, just try. The more you practice, the easier it gets.
Next, try to talk to yourself in English out loud for a few minutes every day.
Right. Just like we mentioned earlier, describe what you're doing. You can say, "I'm making tea. It smells so good. I will drink it while reading a book."
The key is to make English part of your daily routine, even if no one is around to listen.
Another great way to practice? Use English while doing simple activities like cooking, driving, or exercising.
Yes. Instead of letting your mind wander, focus on thinking in English. If you're going for a walk, you can think, "The weather is nice today. The sky is blue. I feel relaxed."
And finally, keep a simple English journal. Write down your thoughts, what happened during your day. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and with me today is my amazing co-host, Julia.
Hey Jason, hey everyone, we're so excited to have you here with us today. If you're someone who struggles with thinking in English, then this episode is just for you.
That's right. Have you ever found yourself translating every word in your head before speaking? It slows you down, right?
Exactly. Many English learners face this problem. They think in their native language first, then try to translate into English, and by the time they're ready to speak, the moment has passed.
But don't worry. In today's episode, we're going to show you how to train your brain to think directly in English, just like a native speaker.
And trust me, once you start thinking in English, everything becomes easier. Speaking, listening, even writing.
So, if you've ever wondered how to stop translating and start thinking in English naturally, stay with us because we've got some powerful techniques to share.
Let's dive in.
All right, Julia. Let's start with the big question. Why is thinking in English so important for learners?
Great question, Jason. The truth is, if you always think in your native language first and then translate, you'll never be able to speak fluently.
Exactly. It creates a delay, right? Your brain is working twice as hard. First, it forms a sentence in your native language, then it tries to find the right English words.
And sometimes the translation doesn't even make sense.
Oh, absolutely. Like if someone translates "I am cold" word for word from another language, they might say, "I have cold," which sounds unnatural in English.
Right, and that's why thinking in English helps so much. It trains your brain to form sentences the way native speakers do without getting stuck on translation.
And let's talk about confidence. When you start thinking in English, you feel more confident because words come to you faster.
Yes, no more pausing for long seconds to translate in your head. You'll respond naturally and smoothly.
Another big reason? It improves your listening skills. If you think in English, your brain processes English conversations faster, so you understand people better.
That's so true, and not just in conversations. Even when you're watching movies or listening to music, you start recognizing words instantly instead of translating everything.
And Julia, let's not forget that thinking in English also helps with pronunciation.
Good point, because when you think in English, you start hearing the sounds in your head the way native speakers say them, which helps with speaking clearly.
So, just to summarize, thinking in English helps you speak faster, boosts your confidence, improves your listening skills, and even makes your pronunciation better.
And now you might be wondering, okay, I get why it's important, but how do I actually train my brain to think in English?
Don't worry. We're going to break it down step by step. But before that, let's talk about some common mistakes that stop people from thinking in English. Now that we understand why thinking in English is so important, let's talk about